baby.
77 trailer, we can see new mechanics.
Shaka Bennett, Mafioso, the Dun Dotted Coldest, Edge Runner, Breathing Flames, aka Shaka Bennett, aka Shaka Mafioso, aka Shaka Martinez, aka did I say SB Panther? Aka Shaka Flame, man. Listen, bro. And I just got a mean graphics card. You know what I'm saying? I'm really gonna be putting up some CyberPunk. But apparently we got some changes coming with the new CyberPunk. It's gonna be CyberPunk 2.0 with the Phantom Liberty update. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with the new update. Apparently they're revamping the whole system. They got different system specs. I mean, we just gotta see. They got some crazy specs to be able to play the game at max settings. We're gonna see what they add on to the game, man. So we're gonna react to this. Cyberpunk 2077 is about to change forever. Let's see, cause I know we won't get a Cyberpunk 2 until like 2030. So let's get it.
Mechanics on display, with some of the overhauled cyberware functionality that was promised being showcased finally. As it looks like now, if you do have the reinforced tendons that double jump cyberware, you are going to literally be able to leap off of motorcycles in epic fashion. And immediately after that, we could see a new midair dash ability being used, likely tied to the new relic skill tree. Because yes, earlier today, Cyberpunk 2077 got an epic new gameplay trailer at Gamescom's opening night live. This showing off many of the new features coming with Phantom Liberty.
And they added the Edge Runner, the rocket launcher. I know you can get mods for it. I got a few mods that I'm gonna showcase. I got the AI Edge Runners enhanced. I got a Audi on there. I haven't been able to play it, but yeah, man, it's gonna get sick. And then I wonder how my system's gonna run it with Phantom Liberty with mods, because the system requirements are so high now.
Liberty and the newly revealed patch 2.0. And I'm able to have a pretty unique perspective on a lot of this because I was fortunate enough to be invited by CDPR to play about an hour of Phantom Liberty earlier this summer. So I was able to actually use many of these new features, although now we're only just getting our first publicly released gameplay of them. So yes, the new Ways to Play gameplay trailer opens with a showcase of some new cyberware abilities. This being quite exciting, as one of the advertised features of this update was...
I wonder how many more hours of gameplay Phantom Liberty is going to have, because it's really hard to scrape up a lot of hours on a game unless you're looking for Easter eggs and just doing pointless gigs. It's really hard.
More cyberware feeling cyberware. And getting to launch yourself off of a motorcycle with some bionic legs does feel like a perfect example of that. Although funny enough, what we're actually seeing here in this opening is a new repeatable piece of content with airdrop missions. These missions will seemingly be given by the fixer Mr. Hands while you're in Dogtown. As we saw some of in a previous trailer, Dogtown, the new district with Phantom Liberty, will feature a thriving black market. And we actually get a glimpse of this here later on in the trailer. So on one hand, this is a pretty cool in-world reason for some of the new items that are added to the game. We're seeing a new black market with Dogtown, where illegal items are sold that you wouldn't typically be able to find in other areas of Night City. Hence a bunch of new items available to us. But as a result, there are airdrops being flown around all over, and occasionally these are going to land in the wrong place and as a result be up for grabs, both for you as well as other soldiers. And that's what we're seeing here in this opening. An airdrop.
I mean, that's like an airdrop off Grand Theft Auto, but I mean, after a while you're gonna know the AI, you know, unless they're doing some new chat GPT AI that just does deep learning to your play skill. It's not going to be nearly the same as playing online with it. But we know Cyberpunk doesn't have online.
Randomly dropping, and this is truly random from a gameplay perspective. This is a new radiant piece of content, that meaning that it's constantly happening in the background as you're playing and will always be random. And in fact, in Phantom Liberty, this isn't even the only piece of radiant content. In addition to airdrop missions, there'll also be courier missions in Dogtown, but we don't know much about those. And in this trailer, we're able to see some new Bargus soldiers around the airdrop. This is going to be the main group in control of Dogtown. They're going to even replace the NCPD in this district. You're going to be fighting these guys pretty often, and they're going to be led by Kurt Hansen, who is the ruler of Dogtown. But as we transition to some of these new weapons, this is where an important disclaimer has to come up. As of right now, it's not entirely clear what is free versus paid, which is going to be a pretty important factor as we go through this trailer overall. We're getting both Phantom Liberty, a new paid expansion for Cyberpunk, as well as patch 2.0, a new free update for CyberPunk right around the same time. Phantom Liberty is going to run you $30, and if you haven't picked it up yet, you can even get it DRM free on GOG using my affiliate link down below. But we do know that some features are expansion only and as such paid content, like getting access to the district itself or even the new relic tree will only be a part of this expansion. But when it comes to things like new weapons, which we're about to go over, we don't actually know what of these are paid versus what of these are free, or maybe all of these are going to be a free update. So as we go through this entire video, just keep that in mind. With many of these features, we don't...
I wonder if they upgraded the Sandevistan. I know that was a popular mod for the game. So I'm pretty sure they upgraded the Sandevistan, and I wonder if they added more Edge Runner content to it.
I don't exactly know whether it's free content or paid content, but looking at these new weapons, they show off one for basically every category, and even show off 2 new sniper rifles. The design of these look epic, with a notable curiosity being the Hercules, which is going to be some kind of prototype special weapon firing toxic rounds. But in some of the previously shared gameplay, we have seen some of these weapons in action, notably Order, the new electrically assisted shotgun, and Warden, the new special Barguest Smart SMG. But we do get some more direct footage of one of the new sniper rifles that seems like it's going to have a 3-round mag and be a smart sniper rifle, as well as we are finally going to be getting a proper thermal katana in game. The thermal katana was actually shown in some of the original marketing for CyberPunk 2077, but ended up being cut before the release of the game.
Hey, if you want to know the best setup for the game, man, you got to be a net runner with a katana. If you're not doing that, you're not really an edge runner, you know?
Although thankfully with Phantom Liberty, or patch 2.0, it is finally coming back. And in this trailer, we could see that Cyberware got overhauled, not only in terms of its functionality, but also in the process of installing it and what effects it'll have. One of the major new features here is a Cyberware limit. If you install too much Cyberware, as we could see on this new bar on the side, you're going to get debuffs on your character. The full range of debuffs isn't currently known, but we know there's going to be things like reduced over...
Oh, that's a mod I need to get, the Cyber Psychosis mod. That's what they should have implemented, but it probably is going to make the game a little bit too difficult to play for some people.
Overall health for your character, and we have heard that this is going to be such a major overhaul that after you launch your save with patch 2.0 installed, you're going to have a new quest with Victor to rework your currently installed Cyberware. So after this new update, your current build may no longer be your current build. As well as reportedly the engineering skill has been...
I will say the net runner abilities are kind of OP, like
reworked to allow you to install more Cyberware overall for your character. But on the right side, the fun continues, as we can see that the armor system has also been reworked. Armor is largely going to be disconnected from the clothing you wear, and instead it's going to be what Cyberware you have installed. So if you want better defenses, you need more or better Cyberware, where a lot of the clothing or armor in the game is going to just be a visual aspect of your character now. In addition to the new visuals from within the trade menu, like we could see here, reportedly there's also going to be new animations that will play as you install Cyberware on your character.
I know there was a mod for that too.
So you can actually see the Ripper Doc installing that Cyberware at least to some degree. But then we do get a complete view of that motorcycle scene from earlier. And we can see the ending now, where we use an epic new slam ability with a melee weapon. This very likely being tied to a reworked perk in the game. This transitions us to the perk segment of the video. We can see some of the new perks being used even here. This dash seems like it is even more extreme than the vanilla one, so likely a perk assisted dash. We can even see ourselves throwing a new charged throwing axe, although that may just be a new weapon and not actually a full-on new perk. But yes, perks as a whole were reworked with CyberPunk 2077 2.0. In vanilla Cyberpunk, the perk trees are separated under each attribute. So typically, under each attribute, you're going to have several individual perk trees. But with this new update, they're going to be combined as one big tree under each individual attribute. And perks are even changed on an ideological level. So now, most of the major perks are going to give you new abilities, not just be stat boosters. The big icons you're seeing here are generally going to unlock some kind of new ability for your character, while the smaller icons around it are largely going to be enhancements to that ability to make that ability even more powerful. And
it kind of looks like the Diablo skill tree a little bit.
Final largest icons are mostly ultimate perks, a lot of which were in the base game. And here we get a rapid fire of some of the new perks. We can see a new finisher with Blade Runner. This is not going to be automatic, but an active use ability that will appear when enemies have low enough health. Bullet Deflect is pretty straightforward, but incredibly epic at the same time. Opportunist will get this video demonetized if I show it fully, but it seems like this perk will give us the ability to steal our enemy's weapon and then finish them off with it. Air Dash is going to be that new mid-air dash ability ability that we talked about a bit earlier, but I feel like it's definitely not a coincidence that with this one, they're showcasing it using a smart weapon. I have a feeling aiming while in midair is going to be incredibly difficult. Savage Sling is going to be another and far more unique finisher, as it seems like with this one, after finishing off an enemy, you'll pick them up and have the ability to throw their body at enemies, which is just epic. Based on its icon, it seems like pull will make it so grenades blow up when in proximity to enemies instead of just based off of the timer in the grenade, basically turning these into impact grenades that don't quite have to impact enemies. And pull,
they're adding so much stuff, but I hate that this is the only scheduled DLC. Like, just one DLC. Like, come on. How much did The Witcher have? I know Witcher had a lot of DLC.
Immediately transitions into Deadeye, which appears to be a headshot perk. We can see the reticle changing here, so likely you automatically land headshots or just have a much easier time landing headshots when this is active. But then we have something that we know is a Phantom Liberty only feature. We have the new Relic skill tree, which seems to offer 9 new abilities that are really meant to emphasize and empower certain playstyles, particularly when using cyberware. And these are honestly pretty simple, at least the ones that are being showed off here, as each of these relic perks are going to empower and enhance the abilities offered from the ARM cyberware. So we get a buffed up version of the projectile launch system, mantis blades, or gorilla arms. And I really do love this relic glitch effect appearing on you. It closely resembles the Johnny glitch effect, and it's just a really nice touch for these perks. Which, speaking of, we know you're going to get relic perks by completing activities during Phantom Liberty. So these perk points will likely be given at certain milestones.
Elba coming to play? Because Idris Elba's in there, and it's going to be Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba. I don't even think I thought when a video game puts in real people, like real actors, that it was gonna be corny, but it actually worked. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Silverhand, he was an asshole, but I liked him. And I was like, dude, get out my head. But at the same, really, I want to bro out my head still.
Or progression moments as opposed to just leveling up. We then get a preview of a bunch of new vehicles, which is a very welcome addition to the game. Overall, I thought these looked pretty good, but the real standouts to me were the new 6x6 as well as this thing. I am so excited to mow down enemies while driving this thing, but this is what stole my heart in my hands-on session. I got into this vehicle innocently during my hands-on and immediately had my vehicle's weapon system come online, which easily became my favorite feature of the update overall. Because yes, CyberPunk 2077 is not only getting new vehicles, but also vehicle combat. And best of all, built-in weapons to a variety of the vehicles in the game. Some of the higher-end vehicles even have multiple weapon systems integrated at once. And there are a bunch of mechanics around this. Vehicles are now hackable, with options to make them explode, speed up, or slam on their brakes. But also you, as well as other NPCs, can now fire from vehicles. This can either be with your typical weapons out of the window, or some vehicles will even have built-in weaponry. In addition, the police system received a comprehensive rework.
Finally, they took some out of the Grand Theft Auto handbook.
Now, police will spawn in cars a short distance away from you instead of just being on foot. And it goes much further than that, with Max Tech actually dropping from airships now, as well as having other overhauls, and even police roadblocks can be set up in the game, this likely being a potential car chase response that could spawn around you. And towards the end of this trailer, we see a preview of all of the major features coming with patch 2.0 and Phantom Liberty. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't know exactly which feature.
We got a dangerous new district, dozens of new stories, quests, and gigs. We need more than a dozen. We need a few dozen. Vehicle combat and mounted weaponry, revamped police system, combat AI, endless dynamic events and missions. Endless dynamic events and missions. Okay. Redesigned cyberware and perks. All new relic skills. Increased level cap. Okay. 100+ new items.
Is a part of which content drop, but the notable new mentions here are going to be the level cap increase and the combat AI overhaul. Those haven't really been showcased too much, but they seem like they'll definitely have a major impact on gameplay. And at the end of the preview, we seem to get introduced to a new character that is likely going to be involved in the Phantom Liberty storyline overall. After the trailer at Opening Night Live, we get a reveal of CyberPunk 2077 2.0. This is going to be the name of the new update, and a very fitting one at that. And we learn about all of this from Eula Permac, which is going to be a gameplay designer at CDPR that presented at Opening Night Live. Overall, I felt like this was another incredible trailer from CDPR, but not without fault, as I think there are two major issues with the marketing for Phantom Liberty overall. The trailer itself was amazing. It gives us a clear look at how CyberPunk 2077 is truly evolving into the game we always hoped it would be, and how this is really much more than just an expansion. It's clearly a comprehensive overhaul of the base game as well. But there's two major issues here. One, I think CDPR needs to do a better job at differentiating what is a paid feature versus a free one. Man, I'm sure there's a fair few people out there.
Hey, just get that $30, man. Just give them $30, man. They need it, man. Give them the $30, man. It ain't that serious,
or that maybe just didn't ever get into Cyberpunk. It had a highly controversial release. Maybe this is just now when some people are going to jump in for the first time. So you see these new trailers, you see it being mentioned as a 2.0 update, which has a free connotation around it, not realizing that, oh, a bunch of these features actually are going to be behind an expansion paywall. And I think just a better view of what's free versus paid would go a long way. And the other issue is a much smaller one, but it's around the odd release timing. It's been confirmed multiple times now that 2.0 is set to release before Phantom Liberty. The free update is meant to drop before the expansion, but we don't know when that is. Due to legal requirements, with them changing the system requirements, they have to give a 90-day notice, meaning that the earliest the 2.0 update can drop is the second week of September, only slightly before Phantom Liberty anyway. But it does seem like there might be this really odd situation where Phantom Liberty actually drops a week after patch 2.0 drops. And I think just making that timing a bit clear would be good. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if most fans don't even know that 2.0 is meant to drop before Phantom Liberty. And more is coming. In just 2 days, CDPR is doing a deeper dive into this new content with their next Red stream. And even just next week, CDPR will hold another earnings call. So we'll be able to hear a bit more from those at the highest level of the company. So get subscribed because I'm going to be making videos on whatever is said at each of these. But until then, check out this video where I talk about my top
10 Cyberpunk mods of all time. That's what I need to watch. But hey, what y'all think? Are y'all excited for the new Cyberpunk coming out? Oh, I'm still on the left side of my screen. Let me go to the right side. Maybe the left side is better. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. It's Shaka being that mafioso that done died, the coldest ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, aka Shaka Black, aka Shaka Bennett, aka Shaka Fuego, aka SB Panther, aka Shaka Mafioso, aka Shaka Flame, man. And listen, bro, I'm excited for that, man. I really probably gonna have to get all the mods off of my game before it comes out, but it just depends. Cause with the new system requirements, bruh, I don't know. My computer's playing it at ray tracing ultra, but from what they said, it's not gonna be good enough. I was also thinking, like, when this type of tech becomes obsolete and you got kids in the future who like playing retro games, they're gonna have some pretty good graphics. Cause I remember going back and playing like Pokemon Red, not even Fire Red, Pokemon Red, and like, you know, Blue and stuff like that, and Mario and stuff like that. The graphics were absolutely terrible, but if these become retro games, just imagine how good the graphics will be. Either that or they're going to be completely in a VR world where their neurons are attached to the system and they feel pain or some crazy shit like that. I don't know, but y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm signing out. Peace.